All right. Stay woke, family and friends. We are in here. We are in here with a vengeance. And I know if y'all see me, look at my hair sticking out. I'm taking this down tomorrow. Um, oh my goodness. Let me get this on. All right. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Stay woke. Y'all know I gotta get in here. Facebook don't have me on live yet. Okay. Ooh, we stay wokers. What's good? What's good? All right, here I am. Let me set this to public. And let me go ahead. Oh, we got the Queen Bee in here. Yes, Queen Bee is in this camp, baby. I see you getting it together over there, baby. You said
Greetings.
she has arrived, baby. She
Listen,
has. How you doing, Dominique?
I'm good. How are you?
I know you are extremely busy, so we are blessed to have you here with us. I just had to. No, I did not put it as public. Hold on, Dom. I like to have it done, honey. You was on time, baby. You like
Listen,
You like I'm on time, baby.
hey,
Yes, yes, yes.
I'm not
It's
perfect,
safe.
but I try to
I know that's right.
have
I
my
know that's right.
business together.
Yes, yes, yes. So we definitely appreciate you being on the show. This is the livest podcast in the Midwest. Before you go to sleep, Dominique, you gotta stay woke, baby. And I know you've been woke for the longest. You've been woke.
For a little bit. Are we
You
live so I can share this on
you've been woke.
Facebook?
This is the only podcast we shout out people in real time. People have real questions, answer questions in real time. Okay, this hair is killing me because it's coming down tomorrow, Dom. But I didn't want to take it down today because I said it was gonna be poofy. I said, let me get on here for Dom. Let me see who we got on here. Shout your city out and where you watching from. We got the Queen in here, Dominique Morgan. Dominique Morgan. I'm gonna wait for a couple more people to get in here. I just would like to say you are looking beautiful.
Thank you. I am in Houston and just hanging out until we do some events tomorrow. But I said, let me get up and wash my face, Lord, and get myself together. Um, I've been in bed and just, the holidays and before 2024 really kicks off.
Honey, your hair. I'm gonna wait till some more people get on, but honey, your hair be doing it for me. I mean, you have. I mean, I don't know if I'm like that. How did Dom change her hair like that so damn quick? The next thing, I
Listen,
really love that blonde vibe, baby. It was giving me life.
I love her too. And everybody, when I got to Houston, people was like, where the Bob at? I'm like, that was a trial run to see how I was going to like it. And I have a big event coming up in a couple of weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I really want to take this to the red carpet. And you know how, people act like you can only wear something once or, you know, I don't want to
Uh,
wear it out. So I said, I really want to wow the girls
mm-hmm.
when we hit this red carpet for BET in a couple of weeks. Yeah.
Okay, I hear you. I hear you. All right, so I'll tell you this. I'm gonna be honest. I've been knowing you for years.
Hmm.
You did a couple of things with me. You and Shiffy did a song together. You was my MC for No Place Like Home.
Hmm.
Uh, and that was actually no, that wasn't the last time I sang Shine, but that was the last Countess Trevo. That was the last live performance
Hmm.
I ever sang Shine, and it was just so befitting that it was called No Place Like Home.
For
So
sure.
yeah, and you did an awesome
Yeah.
job. You did an awesome
And
job.
baby, we gotta tell the people the whole story. Me and Miss Chantella go all the way back to me running in and out of the county jail at 18, 19 years old. If you know Dominique Morgan, they should know my whole story. You should know because I talk about it. But
Mm-hmm.
that's how far I'll be 42 in March.
Mm-hmm.
So I first met Miss Chantella. I was 18, honey, and she would. That was back when Douglas County would put the gays and the trans girls, and we didn't even have that language back then. It was just the girls.
Emad.
Yes, we had EMOD, and then so the girls were segregated, and then the county, Douglas County had construction forever, and so they had the girls on the boats, and so when we would get to act up, they would call Miss Chantella down to come sit us down because she is the only one who could get us to keep it cute and settle down in the housing unit. So we go back
We
over
go
20
way
years for
back.
sure. Yes,
Yes, yes, yes.
indeed.
And that's just a great segue into the introduction. Well, I want you to introduce yourself first because I definitely want to touch base. I've been knowing you for years, but I'm gonna tell
Mm-hmm.
you, me and you talked about an interview several months ago. When I tell you, you made me do my research, Dom, Queen. You got so much shit out here. I was just like, what? I mean, I was like, even up until last night, I was like, wow, I did not know this. I knew this. I knew this. I didn't know that. So go ahead and introduce yourself to the people, and then I got some questions because I want
Yeah.
everybody to get to know you.
Yeah. Well, my name is Dominique Morgan. My pronouns are she and her, and I share that because um, I am a Black trans woman, and I hope we get into some of those conversations
Mm-hmm.
as well. Born and raised in Omaha, Nebraska, proudly born and raised in Omaha, Nebraska. Moved to Atlanta about a little over a year, August of 2022. I moved to Atlanta, but 40 years living in Nebraska. And my work sits in these buckets: activism, direct service to marginalized people, specifically folks who have been impacted by incarceration, um, to arts and music. Um, Music was my first love. It sustained me during my incarceration as a young person, and I've been blessed to be able to continue to do that. And like speaking and thought leadership. I always get surprised when people want to hear me. I know that I'm gonna say what I want to say. I always get surprised when people want to hear what I want to say, or see it as mattering, which is a gift. So yeah, I'm the auntie, I'm the sis, I'm the niece. I'm very I say I'm very regular because I am a girl from North Omaha uh, that works hard, and God and the people just happened to decide that I was gonna get some opportunities, and I'm glad I was able to seize them. And I hope I've been able to utilize them in a way that makes my community proud. No matter where I go, I represent my city, and in a way that really honors the people who helped me get here.
Mm-hmm.
18 years old in the county jail, you couldn't have told me that I would have the life that I get to have now. So that's me in a blurb. If that wasn't enough, you can go to DominiqueMorgan.com.
Oh no, that's right, baby.
You can
Brand
go to
that,
my
baby.
there's a Wikipedia page. There's all sorts of articles and things, but that's
Tons
me
of them.
in a
Tons
nutshell.
of them. Okay, thank you for that introduction. For those of y'all who don't know, Dominique, she is an award-winning artist, an activist, and a author. So that's triple A's, baby. If you didn't know it, that's a triple A. So I want to tell them a little bit about you. When I was researching and reading your story, like I said, I knew you when you were young. You were 18 years old.
Hmm.
I read that the first time you were in a back of a police car, you were 12 years old,
Correct.
and um, and then you were it said you were homeless at 16 and incarcerated at 18. That is a whole bunch for a young person, especially back then. These young people
Right.
is a new breed right now. We was different.
Correct.
Like, I'm way older than you, but the breed was different than it is right now.
Yeah,
So
it was an anomaly for a young person to leave home, especially where we come from. If you're
mhm,
watching from Omaha, if you're from Omaha, we're a close knit community.
mhm,
I legally changed my name to Dominique Morgan in 2004, but I'm a Starks by birth. So not only do I come from a close knit community, I come from a very big family, and so it was very odd for me to be at that age and going through what I was going through. But between thinking I knew everything and not knowing anything at
come on, come on.
all, I really positioned myself. I was 16. My boyfriend was 21. I thought I was grown, honey, and we had a little apartment and a little car, and didn't want to listen to my parents. That was on the top surface. On the deeper surface, I was really struggling with figuring out where I fit in.
Hmm.
And I think that people don't discuss enough how important it is for a person to, like, even if like this, I was born into this family. I know how I'm connected, for them to understand how
Hmm.
they're connected to themselves. And then the better you are connected to yourself, the better you are connected to your people. That was my real true struggle
Hmm.
after all these years of therapy. And that relationship was abusive, just going through things. And one of the last things was we got in an argument, and I don't know if you know, on Cumming Street, they turned all those houses into like mini apartments, you know.
Uh-huh.
And we lived in like the top floor of it, really was a studio apartment. And we got into an argument, and he pushed me out this window, and I fell about 3 stories.
Oh.
And I didn't know at that time because, again, I'm trying to be grown, but I really don't know anything. So
Mm-hmm.
I don't know at that time that he is navigating addiction and all these other issues, right? Because
Mm.
I'm 17, haven't seen nothing, haven't experienced nothing. Um, and then I went to the streets and, writing checks. And, now I don't even think people think about a check. I don't know the last time I've seen somebody utilize a check. But speaking of Big Sean, there was a culture of, girl, the check writing and the hustling and the boosting.
Right.
And in our minds, we weren't hurting anybody.
Right. Right.
These are corporations, these are companies, these people have
Mm-hmm.
millions of dollars. I'm just trying to eat. You could write a check for a hotel room. You could
Mm-hmm.
write it, you could write a check walking into Baker's for, $20 to get a pack of gum, and they would give you the money back from the check. That it was that time. And so in my very young mind, I knew I was doing something that wasn't right, but I did not think that I was doing something that was devastating or murder or
Mm-hmm.
something like that, right?
Right.
And baby, that was right when the state of Nebraska changed those felony laws and those theft laws. And I had about, when I got arrested in August of 2000,
Mm-hmm.
I was facing a little bit over 30 felonies because they had counted
That's
everything that I had
everything.
done, right?
Uh-huh.
Everything I had done from, I graduated in May, and I had ran away from Toby, and I didn't want my parents, didn't want to go back to my parents. I didn't want them to think that I had lost and they had won.
Mm-hmm.
Um, my ego, right?
That pride. That pride.
Sleeping in cars, stealing cars to sleep in and out of, Lincoln and all those other things. But when I was arrested, it was a little over 30 felonies. And I spent about a little under a year in county jail waiting to get
Mm-hmm.
sentenced. And I was going back between Lancaster and Douglas County.
Mm-hmm.
That's when I met you. And my attorney was like, "Oh, you know what? They want you to plead to 3 charges. Um, and because you have no record, you graduate from high school. You come from, my parents met in the ninth grade, got married right after high school, and they were married for 27 years before my daddy passed away. So it was like, you come from a good family, all of this, they're gonna send you home on probation." And I was like,
Right.
cool. And literally everything that the attorney told me, the judge would see as a reason to let me go. The judge saw as a reason to put me in prison. And I was sentenced to 8 to 16 years in
I
Nebraska
read
Department of
that.
Corrections. Hmm.
I read that, and it's just so crazy that when I read that quote and I seen that article where you said everything that you had going for yourself, you had a two-parent family, your parents were workers, just basically everything that should have worked in your favor worked against you. And I try to tell people all the time, honey, it's always depends on who's sitting on that bench
Hmm.
and who's wearing
Hmm.
that robe. Because
Correct.
you don't know, and they can say they bias all they want to, and that's not always the case. So that's not always the case. So there is going to be some prejudice and bias, and back
Prejudice,
then that.
bias, and also the culture back then was, coming out of the Clinton administration. It was, sentence them heavy, it'll teach them a lesson.
Hmm.
So you were, the people who are under these weed, doing 20, 30 years for weed, all of that came out of that administration. You got to think the year 2000 was the year that Al Gore and George Bush Jr. were fighting. I was in county
Yeah,
jail when Bush, won the election.
the
So that
butterfly
Bush,
ballot.
right? So the Clinton administration brought they built on the Bush seniors culture of put them, hang them high, hang them low.
Mhm.
Omaha, I've had the privilege to work with the lady who was my juvenile judge. We were classmates at Georgetown, and we became friends. And when we were filming my documentary, Judge Serkovich said that's what we did. They would want to see us give us those prison sentences
Hmm.
because that was the culture. So a lot of Black folks are not only facing the racism and the prejudice and um, the taintedness of the person sitting there making the decision. You get caught in the culture of what we care about crime, right? And where it goes. A white person gets arrested for having meth, they're gonna send them to drug rehab today. A Black person
Right.
gets caught for crack 10 years ago and they got a life sentence.
Yeah.
So you also, it's the luck of the draw when you get caught up in the system as well.
Right. Right. Yeah, that was very interesting. It was very it kind of made me sad when I read up on that, because you really, I mean, the sentence that you got was so harsh, like you did a violent crime or something. And I was like, damn. And I was like,
Mhm.
there is no way in the world that you should have been sentenced like that. And one of the things that I definitely want people to know about you, is that, just how you fought for everything. You use your life experiences as a way to give back and to teach. A way to give back and to teach. I want to show this video because one of the things that you said, as far as hitting close to home, is okay. It is not showing on here, Dom. I'm gonna have to go do my phone. So, one of the things you talked about was your about being homeless. So
Mhm.
one when I looked at your when I was reading up doing my research on you, when I saw that you said that you were charged for survival,
Mhm.
baby. When I say you was like it was survival. I was like survival. Then so I had to go and dig a little bit deeper to see exactly. Now I don't know if you cloned that. You said you were charged with a crime of survival.
No,
Explain what you meant about.
that I did not. That is not my quote. That is language that when people started advocating for these issues more and more, it's language they started to use
Okay.
because you want people to you want people to acknowledge that if I'm sitting on the side of the street and I am hungry and
Mm-hmm.
I have no money, do you think my human condition is going to make me sit there on the side of the street and starve, or am I going to walk in the store and grab something to eat?
Come on. Come
Right?
on.
And I know for the people who are like, oh, but you can go to these shelters, this and the third. If people really understood the programs that were provided and how little they have to give, the programs are great. These organizations are not, don't have budgets like that to be able to. You got to be at a shelter by 9 o'clock at night. But what if a lot of homeless people have a job? What if you got to
Mm-hmm.
work overnight, right? So there are things that people are doing to make it to just exist,
Mm-hmm.
and so that was important for me to share because I was also a kid.
Right.
I've been privileged to do the work that I've been able to do, starting off, in public health at Charles Drew. The age of adolescence are folks who are 15 to 24,
Right.
right? So I didn't even have a fully developed frontal lobe. I Baby, I was writing checks, but I didn't know how to fill out a money order, right? I had never filed any taxes. I did not have the acumen of an adult to be able to. I'm not saying that people should not be held accountable for when they cause harm.
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying that we know too much and we have too much at our disposal as a civilization as we are in the United States to not be able to take the time and look at people and look at where people are at and what they're trying to come out of.
Right.
You know, yeah.
Definitely understand that. So, I just thought that was, I didn't know if it was your quote or not, but whoever came up with that quote, it was phenomenal because I was just like, yeah, I never thought you did. I was charged with the crime of survival. That was the only way I could make it. And just
Yes,
like you said,
ma'am.
people always say, oh, yeah, you could do this, you could do that. You just don't know what's on the other side. So, we are going to get into you being an award winner. Baby, you won. How many OEA awards have you won? Omaha Arts and
Now, first of all, let me say I am the Susan Lucci of the OEAs. And I say that, and I have always said that, and I stand by it. I got my first OEA nomination in maybe 2011.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I would be in the Artist of the Year category, best artist, best R&B artist, all of that, and baby, it would be Chop over and over again. Some years it would be P minor that would be knocking me down. Some
Mm-hmm.
years it would be a white group that really was pop, but they would be in the R&B
Right,
category.
right.
But once I finally won, I think I won my first OEA. It was maybe like 2015. I
2015.
won. I won Best R&B Artist. I think was my first OEA, and it meant a lot for me. Again, I love my home and I love where I come from.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think that I think people do, but I think it's a flawed approach if you can't conquer where you come from to try to go out and conquer the world. Now,
Right.
yes, the world sometimes will embrace you quicker than home will, but that's where I came from. That's where I was working. That's where I was in the studios, in the basements, and at the open mics. I wanted to be seen by my artistic community.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what I do know is that I hold the record as the only person who's ever won. I'm an EGOT for the OEAs. I have won in the art in the music category. I have won in the visual arts category, and I won best supporting actress for a play that I did in 2021. So I've won in all three categories, but child, I lost so many before before I finally won. But I love the OEAs. That's like my artistic home. And I was on the board also. I was the vice president. I was the
I
president
see
for a
that.
while, and
I
because I also believe when I'm a complain, but I'm also gonna put some time into it, and
right.
I'm gonna help fix it. And the representation of Black people as award winners was extremely low. So we separated R&B and soul. I was like, R&B and soul are two different genres.
Right.
R&B and gospel used to be together. That's not the same thing, right? The
Exactly.
rap, right? The rap category. I love everybody, but I had seen too many times where Black folks who I knew were on tour. Shiffy would be on tour all over the country, right?
Right.
Winning regional awards, all this and the third, and then wouldn't be nominated for the OEAs, or they hadn't asked them to perform, and so I was excited that I was able to be involved to make sure that not only did I get some progress, but my people did, because
Right.
um, the arts community in Omaha is thriving. R&B, soul, hip hop, world music. There are folks who are really putting in time and effort
Mm-hmm.
to to create incredible work. The OEAs are a great way to recognize them. So I'm thankful to have won, and I'm thankful that I was a part of the leadership for a short period of
Yeah,
time.
the vice president. I was like, okay, because I know there weren't many of us being represented in those
Correct.
type of positions. So I already knew that. So what an awesome accomplishment. I remember we used to see you. I went everywhere with Shiffy. We used to see
Hmm.
you. We be going through airports, Chicago, Atlanta. Dom, what you doing? What you doing? You're like, what? I know y'all getting that bag, Miss Wells. I said, you already know.
For
And
sure.
we were only a couple of people that were actually doing this and getting paid for it.
Hmm.
People don't know that. When you're traveling and stuff, we trying to secure a bag. We trying to represent the city and secure a bag. So we seen you plenty of times in the airport, doing speaking engagements and motivational speaking and doing shows and stuff like that. So I want to shout out a couple of other awards that you got. NAACP award. You got the award for Change Maker recipient award in 2016. The Freedom Fighter award. The 10 Outstanding Young People award in 2015. That is a lot. That is a lot. How did it make you feel when people started recognizing, especially from your humble beginnings, and
Yeah.
with the struggles that you had? How did that make you feel when people were just showing you so much love?
Um, at first it was difficult because I think that you want to make sure that you stay hungry. You
Mm-hmm.
don't want to, some people will get a few moments and they'll feel like, oh, I've done it,
Uh
this, that,
huh.
and the third. Like the year that I got my NAACP award, myself and Mr. Ernie Chambers, we won in the same year. Like, so to win an award with Mr. Chambers was like, oh, okay, this is a man that I've watched since I was a child,
Yep.
and you know what I'm saying, and so that was a moment when I got the Toyo Award. in 2020, that was the first time that was the highest number of Black people who had won a Toyo at the same time that year. Myself, Andrew Aliman, and Ashley Spivey, we all won. When usually they only gonna let one Black person through.
Right, right.
And so to win Toyo, I also was chosen as the distinguished winner that year, and
Mm-hmm.
then I went on to win 10 Outstanding Young Americans, and that 10 Outstanding Young Americans. When you go to Wikipedia, Christopher Reeve has won that.
Oh, wow.
Presidents have won that award. They choose 10 Americans each year, and then
Oh,
the next year I was the United States nominee for 10 Outstanding Young People of the World. Those are the moments when though it's not the award so much. It's For me, I'm like, it tells me I'm on the right path.
right.
It tells me I'm doing what I'm supposed to do, because usually you have to be nominated. So somebody thinks good enough for you. Shout out to Shauna Dorsey, who nominated me for 10 Outstanding Young Americans when I won. A Black woman came through for me. So somebody's looking at you and seeing you do good work. People were able to look at your body of work and be like, oh, it holds up, right? Because some people think they're doing a lot, and then you look at the resume and you be like, no, baby, you
Right.
got some room to grow. So people in my communities are saying I'm doing it, and then that was at the point where I was starting to reap the benefits to be able to invest in my community,
Mm-hmm.
right? And I think that was something that, again, the awards are lovely, but when you're on the right path, when you started off on a path where people was like, baby, you may not make it to 20.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You gonna be on the ground real quick. It really, it's blessed me to know that I continue to serve my people the way that they want me to serve
Well, that is awesome. Thank you for that information. I didn't know that you were nominated for that award, but can you explain to the people what the award stands for and what it means?
them. There's 10 outstanding Toyo, 10 outstanding young Omahans, and that is through the Omaha JCs. Toyo has been around for 70, 80 years. Um, and again, many of these systems, especially Omaha systems, were built for white people to be celebrated.
Mm-hmm.
In 30 or 40 years in Omaha, you had Miss Brenda, you had Mr. Chambers, you had 4 or 5 Black leaders who had been able to be really elevated, but oftentimes we didn't get that kind of shine.
Right.
And so you have 10 Outstanding Young Omahans, you win that, and then you're eligible to be nominated for 10 Outstanding Young Americans, and I won that. And that's there was a there was an NFL player in my year. It was actress, because you come from different industries, and then there's a global award that's 10 Outstanding Young People of the world, and they chose me as a United States nominee, which at the time, mind you, my transition had started.
Uh-huh.
The United States is not, as much as people perceive the United States to be so woke and so open, it's not.
Mm-hmm.
There are pockets. So anytime that I get to represent where I come from as a whole, whether it's Omaha, Nebraska, or the US, or Atlanta, whatever, it also means a lot as a Black trans woman that I get to show people that I don't care what, if you're watching this, you don't have to agree with my gender identity. You
Mm-hmm.
don't have to, I'm not asking you to subscribe to my way of thinking. I don't need to, I don't have time for that. I'm booked. I'm not about to sit here and convince
B
anybody
and B,
for
baby.
right for my purpose, but it gives a chance for people to see, because in my heart, I believe that most people don't understand because they have not seen.
Right.
And so those moments allow me to represent and say, listen, I know what you think this is, but this is a but it's not that. This is what it is. And so those awards are really powerful. I have not won a Grammy yet, but the people who make the 10 Outstanding Young Americans awards are the same company that makes the Grammys. I remember when they shipped us our awards. And so it was just like a moment. I was like, oh, okay. I was close to turning 40. I was like, you know what? I think I might know what I'm doing. This
Right,
might not
right,
be a fluke. This might not be
right,
luck.
right.
I might really know what's going on. And so yeah, those awards were powerful. And it goes all the way up until, the street renaming that happened in
Oh, that
Tacoma.
was my next segue. Unanimously, the city council voted. They very rarely vote on something that's important unanimously, honey. You know, I had to deal with the people for years. But the
Right.
city council voted unanimously to name a street after you. Miss Dominique, you have a street named after you, Taylor Street. I want you to tell us about the significance of Taylor Street. And then also, I want you to tell us about the reveal. I saw it on Facebook after it happened, but I definitely would have loved to have been a part of it.
Yeah. Um, I, I was the reveal was small because I was afraid. So as you said, Miss Chantella, like you need a unanimous vote,
Uh-huh.
or you will have to go door to door and get every neighbor to sign on to the street being named. And I Taylor Street is the street I grew up on. I was raised in the house my mother was raised in. My grandmother owned that house. But you don't know who's living there. You don't again what a person's beliefs are, so on and so forth.
Uh-huh.
And I kind of didn't believe it was going to happen because it felt so surreal. Um, and so I told myself I'm not going to say anything until the vote happens because we're also in a culture where people will try to tear down what they
Yeah.
don't understand,
Yeah.
right? Um, people will get all of the knowledge they have in their brain from 30-second clips on Instagram,
Right.
right? Like that's all. I'm not saying as a girl who's on Instagram, I'm not saying that's not where you can get information. I'm saying that's all they have. So they regurgitate falsehoods and things that aren't facts. And I'm like, what if they protest? What if
Right.
what if? And so I kept it quiet because of that. And I was also really nervous. I don't think I had wanted something like that in a long time. Like
Mm-hmm.
you asked me about awards, the accolades are beautiful, but I don't think there's ever been a time where I've been like, oh my God, like I really want this to come together like this, the way the street naming happened. So it's the street I grew up on. I learned how to ride a bike there, popping firecrackers. Um, I when I was first arrested as a 12-year-old, it was on that street, on Taylor Street, in front of my childhood home. It Anytime I come to Omaha, before it was named, before the sign said Dominique Morgan, I would even when I lived in Omaha, if I had difficult things I had to think about, I would go down there and just drive,
Mm-hmm.
or I would sit because both of my parents had passed away, and so that street feels like my mom and daddy. It
Still there.
feels like it feels like my you know one grandmother lived this way, another grandmother lived a mile this way. I went to Saratoga, a few blocks over. I walked over to King Science Center, aka Horseman, like that whole neighborhood. My mom worked at Bill's Barbecue when I was younger. Getting some hot links when she would get off like that. That was my world. And to imagine that my name would be up there, and then a step further, to know that there are young black folks who are going to walk down those streets and see my name, and I hope they look it up. And yes, the queer and trans young people, I want them to see me, but I also want black kids who who don't identify as LGBTQ plus
Right.
to acknowledge that we are in the black community,
Mm-hmm.
we are impactful, and we matter, right? I,
That,
I, I think that's another piece because people are like, where you want it at? I'm like, I want to where my people are at.
right.
I want to where my cousins be at. I want to where I want it where my people are at because I think in the last year it was myself, Simone, and Terrence
Mm-hmm.
Crawford. Simone Sanders, who we all know is was in the White House, did incredible things, is now just got a new show on
Right.
MSNBC.
And
Terrence
my
Crawford, Terrence is a world champion boxer. So in a calendar year, you had Terrence, Simone, and Dominique Morgan, and I just was like, and we're all younger. So
Right.
I'm like, we not too removed from where y'all at either. And I
Right.
also felt like it was important to show that February 16th, in what is that, 6 weeks from now,
Mm-hmm.
it'll be my 15th year of me being released from prison.
Mm.
So I'm like, I'm not as far removed from walking out of Nebraska Department of Corrections.
Right.
I'm not that far removed from needing energy assistance to pay my bills. I'm not that far removed from,
Preach.
waiting tables in restaurants and now, you can drive down my street and peep it out.
All right.
Yeah.
Before I shout the people out, Dom, they throwing you hearts up here and throw in hearts. Throw Dom some hearts. Show her how you guys appreciate her activism, and all the nuggets she dropping on here. Before I shout the people out, I must say that according to what I've followed up and researched on, that you are the first transgender woman to have a street named after you. Is that correct?
I am the first Black trans woman ever to have a street named after
Oh
me.
man.
I am the only living trans person with a street named after me. There's a
Wow.
white trans woman who had a street named after her in San Francisco. Um, but and I always talk about the Black part because I feel like people want to they want to piece it out, and I need them to know that my Blackness is so much a part of my foundation. It's inherent to who I am, right? And it makes everything else about me bigger and more powerful. So to know that in this country, that in this world, this history happens like this. It's in the world. Like they went and looked it up. So and it happens in Omaha, Nebraska.
Right.
The way that I go to people,
One
like
of the
Black folks
reddest
live,
states in the
right?
country, Dom.
People, but shout out to the blue dot. Shout out to my good sis
Right,
Precious.
right.
But the girls, people are like, oh, it's Black folks in Nebraska. Some of the most incredible Black people you will ever meet are in Omaha and come from Omaha, Nebraska. I'll be like, there ain't no Malcolm X, there ain't no TV1. The
Right. Come
Simone
on.
wouldn't have tackled that man trying to get up on Bernie Sanders, honey. Baby, it'd have been you right. Like we have incredible Black folks that come from
Right.
Omaha, and so for me to make a world kind of historic moment that's attached to Omaha means a lot.
Okay. Okay. So this is the hottest podcast in the Midwest, the only podcast that shout people out in real time, answer questions, the livest podcast in the Midwest. Before you go to sleep, you gotta blah blah blah. Stay woke. It's shout out time. We got Kim Hollingsworth in here. She said, "Congratulations, Dom. Thank you for
Thank
your
you, Miss
activism."
Kim.
Jean Pendergrass is watching from Arizona. She said, "Good afternoon. I've been waiting for this conversation. I follow Dominique through social media and I am ready." You got Serena Russell in here. Said, "Congratulations and thank you for your work." Deborah Jones says, "Congratulations." Jelana Davis says, "Congratulations. Thank you for sharing your story. You are very inspirational." Peaches, the nickname, Darlene, the nickname Peaches Murray is in here. She said, "Congratulations. They're showing hearts and love, giving you hearts and love." We got Arlette Brooks from Delta Sigma Theta in Omaha, Nebraska. She says, "Congratulations." Who else? Kim Hollingsworth said, "Keep up the good work, Don. You always hold your head up high." That is, and then we got Frida Marion just joined in.
Auntie
That
Frida.
is that is so awesome when someone says that you always move with your head up high. That is like the ultimate. Because you don't have to. You know what I'm saying? And the way that you are so connected. That's what I love about you. You're still connected. Still connected. Even after this is my segue into the next thing. What time is it? Is that my Apple Watch? So yeah, the Apple Watch campaign. For those of y'all who don't know, Dom was the representative for the was it the Pride Apple Watch, the wristband?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I saw the pictures on there, looking lovely as usual.
Mm-hmm.
So tell us how that came to fruition.
Oh goodness. So in 2020, right, we're in the pandemic. I don't know if y'all remember the BET Awards. They had done. The BET was trying to incorporate more queer and trans people in
Mm-hmm.
the BET Awards, and they cut someone, and there was a letter written about what happened. B Scott. I don't know if y'all. B Scott has been around forever doing social media, right? And so there was this list. My medical and social transition started in March of 2020. So I still am one of the new girls in the scene. And that angers a lot of girls who feel like I have gotten opportunities that I did not deserve. But there was a list created just of Black trans women who were doing work, and Apple wanted to um, like feature someone they had never done a model before,
Mm-hmm.
and so they I don't they had a list, and they had called, and the list was 10 girls. Then it was like a month later, the list was 5 girls, and you signed this
Uh-oh.
NDA, right?
Dun, dun, dun. Come on now.
Um, and then there was a day in April, and what happened is that my assistant had opened the email, so then she had to sign an NDA because she wasn't. They were like she wasn't supposed to see it, and they were like, "Can you get on a call this afternoon?" Usually, when the biggest things that have ever happened to me, you got to be ready.
Yes. Yes.
It is people, and as someone who is now positioned to give people opportunities, it's rarely, hey, a week from now, can you let me
Right.
know if you can do
It's
blah
on
blah
the
blah
spot.
blah 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 blah.
Mm-hmm.
And so they were like, hey, can you be ready this afternoon to get on a call? I said, sure. I signed the paperwork, and they were like, we've chosen you to be our first ever model. Can you be in LA in a week and a half to shoot
Mm-hmm.
this campaign? So this is like third week of April. We shoot the campaign the first weekend of May. Jameson and I have been working together. Jameson started doing my hair and makeup December of 2020. And speaking of the opportunity thing, I called Jameson. I was like, hey, I need you to sign this NDA, and then I need to tell you something. So he signed it, and I was like, Apple is Apple is, and I ain't told, I don't think I've ever talked to anybody about this. Apple is overnighting me a check, and because I told them I need new wigs, because they wanted me to have all these dress options. The person who was shooting it shot the cover of Time magazine of the Black
Uh-huh.
Lives Matter leaders. So it was so intentional, but I had to get dresses done and fitted. Couldn't tell anybody what they were getting fitted for. Um, Told Jameson that, and he was like, well, my friend is supposed to have a birthday party. I said, boy, this is Apple.
Right.
How your friends come to LA with you? You're gonna have a
Right.
suite. You know what I'm saying? Y'all at the time that was all like 2021 at the time anyway. Um, and so he took that flight. I I made them give him a first class ticket too.
Uh-huh.
Because he was, I was like, this young man like is so talented. Um, so Apple, like we got the wigs, we got the dresses, we flew out. They commandeered this house in the hills of in the Hollywood Hills. I'll never forget. They put plastic down on the concrete. Like we weren't supposed to touch nothing. They had the big sprinter van for me to get ready in. And it was life changing. The picture they used is a important moment because I've always, always loved music. And I used to listen to the Whitney Houston double disc when I was locked up. And there was it was How Will I Know was like this dance mix. And so they've got me on this stairs that they've built. There's this young man whose job is to put an umbrella over me so I don't get too hot. But they're playing music in the background. And as I'm looking over the Hollywood Hills, getting my photographs taken by an award-winning photographer, and all of these people's job is to just keep me happy, that Whitney Houston song came on. And my best friend Andrew was there with me because I had lied to them and told them Andrew was my assistant because he was gonna come. And Andrew knew. He was like, if y'all don't get the pictures from her in the next 2 minutes, because I'm a Pisces, honey, we're emotional
Uh-huh.
people. If you don't get the pictures from her in the next 2 minutes,
It's
double
wrapped.
makeup, it's a wrap because we was gonna have to change dresses and things for the afternoon. And so Apple was Apple was also the first one that I was able to put on. I felt like I could put Omaha on the map.
Uh-huh.
Uh, and I talked about Omaha, Nebraska in People Magazine. I had talked about Omaha, Nebraska, like all over the world. They sent me this email, and I still have it. Every place around the globe where I had been talked about, and Omaha was a part of it. Black and Pink was a part of it. And so it was really. I'm like I'm a girl that came from 56892. I came from the prison yard.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, let's be
Preach.
clear. Like,
Talk your shit. Talk your shit down.
let's be clear. And so it was the Apple moment was, and it's nothing. It's something. It's one of the things they can't ever take from me.
Right.
Even this last summer, this happened in 2021. It's been two years since I did it. They still only use my pictures. Um,
Oh,
I, I have Google Alerts set up for when someone says Dominique Morgan in an article or something, because people will do articles about you and you not even know. And so I was getting the notifications this summer, where people were still tagging me and talking about me. So shout out to Apple. The president of Apple came down that day, and I remember, because you think you do Apple campaign, you think you getting the watch, you getting all the Apple things, and I remember they were like, we don't give people, they were like, we don't ever do this, but this is so important. Like he flew down from San Francisco,
uh-huh.
brought me phones and watches, and they still email me every year and was like, what size watch do you want? So
All right.
they were really lovely. The check was sickening. Um, the check was
I already know,
sickening.
baby.
The check was sickening. We bought the Mercedes, brand new off the lot that year. I got my divorce was final, so it was all my coins, honey. But I was able to put back into my community. I was able to give more. I was able to donate more. I was able to. We built scholarships and stuff. So 2021 and Apple definitely were a game changer.
Yes, that was so awesome. I remember when I seen you, I just happened across the advertisement, and I was like, that looked like I was like, that looked like
Baby,
Dominique. I clicked and I was like, you know me, look, Dom. I,
listen,
I
yeah.
was like,
You
damn,
gotta
it's
double tap.
Dominique.
Listen. It was surreal, surreal. The People magazine, the number of people in prison who were able to see it and who were calling and sending emails. That's another thing that blesses me when I have moments when what I do reaches so far that people on the inside, I'm just like, yeah, I'm always gonna talk about being somebody that came from prison, because folks who are inside need to know that
Mm-hmm.
you are the I am the author of my story. And once I realized that I got the pen, I got the paper, that nobody else gets to not only write my story, but they don't get to dictate the end, it hits different. And so I'll never forget some of the letters that I got from folks who were just like, "Oh, did we just see you in People Magazine? Did we
Right.
just see you on the in New York Times?" And I was like, "Correct, that was me." And shout
Yeah.
out to Jameson. Shout out to Jameson for having me snatched, dipped, and whipped, honey.
Oh, honey,
Um,
Jameson is a cold piece on that
yes,
head, on that crown.
yes.
Honey, Jameson is reigning. I was like, damn. Every time I love seeing you when you get, get your new crown and everything.
Mm-hmm.
I was just like, oh my goodness. And then when you had that little bob piece, I was like, damn. I was like, that bob is killing it. But I mean, Jameson have yo shit. Like, I mean, it's just like, I'm like, damn. So shout out to Jameson.
Shout
Jameson
out
is
to
killing the
Jameson.
game.
Shout
And
out to
that's just like,
Jameson.
you was able to give Jameson a platform. That's what, and me and Shiffy, through the roof production, we always, when we tell people, when we engage with people and do projects with people, sometimes people always want to be like, what I'm going to get, what I'm going to get. First of all, you're going to get this from being in this spot because you were not seen in this light. They have to understand it's not always about securing a bag instantly. You have to work your way up to things, but exposure, honey, publicity, baby. Do you know how much it costs to run a commercial? Okay, for 15 seconds in
Mm-hmm.
prime time. Look, it's gonna cost some people a whole year's check to run that in prime time. So the exposure and just the affiliation with you and the exposure. So but Jameson is the shit, honey.
And
Jameson is the
I
big.
don't let people treat me differently than they treat my people.
I know that's right.
So I'm in first class.
Talk your shit.
Jameson has never. I've never, because I say this humbly. I don't like not fly. I only fly first class. And so Jameson's never had to walk past me and
Uh,
go any where I'm at is where he's at,
I
right?
know that's right.
Um, my people who in community in Omaha, I'm like, I take my people with me. A
Mm-hmm.
lot of people be like, how do you stay grounded? I stay grounded because I'm, like you said, I'm still connected. And not just connected because, oh, I mess with you. Connected because these are the same people who fed me when I didn't have nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, these are the same people that if this all falls down today,
They're gonna be right there with you.
hello, right? So it's like, hell yes, excuse my language, you're supposed to be in the Ritz Carlton with me and in first class, because if we got to go back to sharing a soup, we gonna have to make that work. We gonna have to make that work too. And
Let's
and
get two
and
spoons.
hello, and people never forget how you treat them.
Uh-huh.
People,
Exactly.
whether it's good or bad. And so even I'm even like that with just young people, who, not specifically young people, but people who see me, I'm like, speak. I may not remember a face, but if somebody talks to me, I am never that person who acts funny, because girls are get a little notoriety and start acting funny. It's like, no,
Uh-huh.
because them same people, your tire may bust down there at Omaha Day, and you may need a ride home, and you feeling yourself. You have to treat people with kindness and care.
Exactly.
It's something that's important. But yeah, Jameson is a huge part of my how the world was able to embrace me. Because let's be honest about it, when it comes to trans women, specifically Black trans women, the way we look and the caliber of our beauty is a large indicator for how much people will respect our
Mm-hmm.
gender identity.
Yes.
And people don't discuss enough how much that costs. All Black women know how much it costs, right? Like, it's Jameson, and these are $1,500, $2,000 wigs, right?
Right.
Actually, this is one of the Apple wigs. So I've had this wig for 3 years. Jameson just curled this a couple of days ago. I put it in a silk bag and flew with it to Houston and took it out the bag tonight and shook it. So it's like the cost of it's lucky that I love the hair and the glam, but there's so many folks who, like, I am doing this so the world will receive me. I'm doing this so I can go to the gas station and be safe, so I can pump through the airport and
Mm-hmm.
still be respected, right? Because a lot of girls that have uh, uh, female on their pronouns. I've seen women who have given birth to children who are walking through a place, and because they don't look right, people have misgendered them, right? It's not just about trans, it's about how the world thinks beauty is supposed to look, and it's expensive.
Right.
And I've said this to Jameson many times before. He was a godsend because I didn't know anything. I was not the gay boy who was playing in makeup. I
Right.
was not, I was not, I was not, I was not, I never did drag performance. I had no knowledge about the beauty industry. My transition happened, I started taking hormones March of 2020. My social transition, meaning the world started to see
Uh-huh.
in August, April of 2021,
Mm-hmm.
I'm all over the world. And I
Wow.
could have looked a damn mess. I could
Right,
have looked
right.
a,
But
because
Jamison wasn't letting that happen, baby.
no, ma'am. No, ma'am. And I remember, I'll never forget. I pulled him to the side. I said, "Your job on this set is to make sure that I look flawless. So I don't care you're in charge of that. So if the hair's out of place, stop everything and move the hair. If the makeup don't look right, you have that power. And if they say something to you, tell them to come to me." And there's one picture that Apple used with this brown wig where the wind is
Uh-huh.
kind of brushing it. Jameson had just brushed that hair out, and they took that picture, and that's what they used. So shout out to Jameson, and shout out to how beauty is hard, man. Looking, you know what I'm saying? Looking the way the world wants you to look, and maintaining it.
Yeah.
It's expensive, and for a trans person, it's honestly connected to my safety. So I'm thankful for him for the moments that the world has photographed, but I'm also thankful to be able to go to the grocery store and feel safe, to be able
Right.
to exist and feel like I can manifest my version of womanhood that also allows me to have a space of safety.
Right, right, right. So yeah, and just like you said, um, regardless of how people can say somebody is vain or nothing, they know looks mean a lot. Appearance
They do.
means a lot. No matter
Hmm.
what you're doing, it means a lot. It is, and some people under the microscope are constantly being judged harsher than other people. So I
Yeah.
definitely understand where you're coming from when you say, "But honey, that wig is giving me life over there." You said you
Listen,
with her. What's her name? What's
yeah.
her name? Do you
I don't even
name
have a
your
name for
hair?
her. I do not
What?
name her. I do not name them. I think because I switch hair so much, I don't really get a personality for them. But this is very much, I won't have a name, but it's a purpose. For me, when I'm given this brown hair, it's very much, you could take me to go meet your mother and she's gonna see me as lovely. If I'm speaking at the university, this is that type of hair. If I want to go, if I need to go get $1 million from the bank, this is that type
Let's
of
say
hair. This
that's
is
it. That's
very right. This is I went to Spelman. My husband went to Morehouse. We got 1.2 kids and a white picket fence. I'm an AKA. This is that type of hair. And I told Jameson, I was like, I want a bang, honey, that'll make people think that I have the first bang God ever created. And so he cut this in there, honey, and sprayed her to for the blood, and literally packed it, and I just took it out about 5:30 and
what?
shook her out and brushed her out. That's Jameson, because now Jameson works with my sister T.S. Madison
Uh-huh.
now as well, and Madison, I travel a lot, but Madison tours are very different, right?
Hmm.
And so Jameson will do a lot of prepping of my hair. So the
Okay.
night that he did the wig, he cut the wig on my head. I went out. When I went to the game, he stayed back and he styled 3 wigs. So that way,
Okay.
this week that we'll be apart, because I don't get back to Atlanta until Sunday, I have hair, all this week.
You said I have hair all this week. So I'm
Yes,
in
ma'am.
shout out time. We got some new people on, Dominique. This is the livest podcast in the Midwest, the only podcast that shouts you out in real time and answer your question. We got new on the line. We got Linda Brown. She said, I love Dominique on everything. I love you. You are so amazing. Kim Hollingsworth said, and I agree with you, Kim. She said, the way you described that view on Hollywood Hills, I felt like I was right there. I felt like I was right there. Yvette Turner is in here. She said, Dom, you are so amazing. You are so awesome.
Thank
So people
you.
are shouting you out. Show Don love. Show Dom some hearts. She has been in here giving us everything. She told me I can ask her anything.
Yes, you
Okay, so
can.
Dom, you want to definitely talk about your association that you have in the prison system, where
Hmm.
you kind of took on the role of I don't know if I should say initiative, but I know that you were like creating an environment for those who are incarcerated,
Hmm.
making sure that their rights are not violated, and then you work very closely with the transit. I'm pissed because I had a lovely video. I don't know why it's not pulling up. Look, y'all. I got 3 different devices plus this one trying to get that video loaded since we've been here. I saw an article you did. It was an interview. Were
Hmm.
you and I didn't know this until like 3 days ago. The purchase of the church, wanting to purchase the church with the duplex connected to it, and I just thought that that was such a connection to what had happened to you. That's why I said you use your life experiences and then you bring a resolution or some type of calmity to someone else's life that may be going through the same thing. I'm going to post this on my page so the Stay Wokers can see it because I'm pissed that the video is not pulling up. But anyway, you tell us about the church. I know it was being sold for 300,000, and it has a duplex connected to it.
Hmm.
Tell them a bit about the residents that you want in there and how that took place.
So again, I am, no matter where I'm going, I'm representing the North Side. And once I was able to understand the nonprofit game, and I got what it was, I think you mentioned this the other day. When I became the executive director of Black and Pink had been in Boston for 13 years, and I was like, I'm not moving to Boston.
Right.
I barely wanted to leave Charles Drew. Like I had planned to retire from Charles Drew. I loved that job, and I loved working for my people, right? And they were like, "Oh no, we'll close all the offices, and Black and Pink National will now be based in Omaha, Nebraska." And it was a way for me to bring that powerful tool to a place that has raised me and invested in me, and then with that came access to financial investment. So hiring people in Omaha, Black and Peak is the largest like queer employer in the state of Nebraska. And I mean the salaries are no joke. The girls are making a coin. a good strong coin, a sturdy coin, if you will, right?
Okay.
Yes, indeed. And then it came to where we put money into the city of Omaha because people will talk about Omaha, but the girls want to go west.
Right. Come on.
So even when we open the offices, Black and Pink offices are in the NCAP building.
Uh-huh.
You right, Charlotte Cox Blackstone High School, my friend from high school, Black woman renovated all of that. We put that money there. We pay for that office space. Lighting House was the first housing continuum that we opened, and that was February 16th of 2020. We opened it on the anniversary of my release from prison, and Gene Stoffer came out and named it Lighting House Day that day. That meant a lot. And so the church and the duplexes were the hold on. Daryl just walked in and he opened every cabinet. What you looking for? Okay, because I done put everything away. You know who these do the people know you in Houston? Have you tagged the people yet? So I was like, I want something bigger. I don't want to leave the north side. And my grandfather created the neighborhood association that the church and the duplex lives exists in. And my grandfather Andy Wright created Neighborhood Action. In fact, that was his creation, that neighborhood association. And so, for me to be a Black trans woman spending $300,000 to buy that land, we own that. Black and Pink owns it.
Ooh, that's what I'm talking about.
We bought it outright. We didn't get a loan from a church. It is
Talk
not
your
increment.
shit.
It is not incremental. Um, and it was a lot of moments. It was moments where some of these church ladies looking at my Black trans self, and you may not like me, girl, but I know you're gonna take my check.
Right,
Okay.
right, right.
Okay. Right. It was the power. Right. It was the power of Blair Freeman, two Black women who were doing powerful things with construction all across the country, doing the renovation. It was the importance of folks in the neighborhood being like, "Oh, something's about to happen there." The
Right.
number of times when I would be, they people like, "Oh, we're glad something's gonna come there," right? And so, um, Opportunity Campus is the name of the space. If you go
Mm-hmm.
to blackandpink.org, you can see a video of it, and it'll be the housing program that will, from what I understand, I've been going from Black and Pink for a year and a half now, but I still stay close to the work there. But so the housing work will open first, and then wraparound services and like deeper community services will live in the church space. And I think it's just beautiful to think that this was also a space that had experienced harm from the riots, in the 70s. This was a
Yeah.
space, talking to several people who used to go to church there to know that this building meant a lot to them, and now new folks are going to be able to engage in the power of this space and the hope that I have for them to experience it all on the north side. So also the millions of dollars that I've been able to put into North Omaha,
Right.
um, just just to be
Talk your shit.
transparent, because I remember when my street happened. Them KTV comment sections are grime, are nasty work,
Mm.
honey. And they posted it, and it would be these white folks would be like, "Oh, you're just giving them this for because they're trans." I said, "No, they're giving me this because I've brought $10 million into the state of
I know
Nebraska,
that's right. Talk
and
your shit, y'all.
I've employed dozens of people here, and then multiple contractors, and I've been able to put a lot of money in a lot of Black people's hands who are in Omaha, Nebraska. And so that's the beauty of the project is that we can talk about how beautiful North Omaha is, and anything can be used for good.
Mm-hmm.
Anything can be used for good if you want it to be. If you
Right,
want
right.
to throw it away, you're gonna throw it away. But if
Exactly.
you focus on the good in it, you'll manifest it. And so I love the spirit of Opportunity Campus. Baby, I was telling Andrew a couple of weeks ago, when those doors open, the weeping and wailing that will take place, the way I'm a fall out like an old church lady, honey, because it's to go from a kid homeless on the streets to be creating resources for young people who are fighting the streets today. Um, I feel like God has never given me an experience that He has not allowed me to utilize to shift not only my life but the life of others. So that's like the best part of what I get to do.
Yeah, I thought that was so important, especially how it was parallel to your story. And you're a hell of a speaker anyway. So any if y'all go watch any of her interviews, you'll definitely see Dom don't hesitate on nothing. And Dom is a hell of a reader. She will read you from here to Bolivia. Um, I
But
have
listen, I only return the call. They always call me first. I don't call nobody first.
you only
That
answer
that
the
be,
door.
that became my rule a long time ago. I don't go in people's yards unless until they come in my yard, and I don't call people first. I call people back though.
Ooh,
I
she
do
called
call I
people
do call
back.
people back. I do
I
call
need
people
somebody
back.
to hashtag. I need one of my stay wokers to hashtag. She called people back. I
Yes,
need that on
ma'am.
the hashtag. I need that on the hashtag. Serena, Jean, somebody, Yvette, put that on the hashtag for me. Arlette Brooks is a huge person who works in the community. She does a lot of community service. She says she wants to thank you for your commitment to our community. It is very important, like you said, honey. People want to run out and do their stuff out west. It is very humbling of you, and it is very important that you keep the resources in North Omaha. So I know a lot of people didn't know these things about you. Last question before we go
Yeah.
into, y'all need to tell Don what time it'll be after this next question because I already know. Okay, yep, somebody hashtagged it. Thank you, Serena. Y'all can,
Yes,
a bunch of y'all. Okay, I got a couple of people hashtagged it. She calls people back, baby.
I
Check
do. No
mark.
brag.
So I heard
No
you
brag.
when you said that you wasn't even part of the glitz and glam and stuff like that growing up. So and then you didn't transition until
I was
years later.
38. I was
Yeah.
38.
So what was the final decision? You know, some people don't understand when somebody
Hmm.
feel like they're in the wrong body or whatever they're struggling with
Hmm.
and they need to just break out of that. So a lot of people don't understand that. What was the final deciding matter or what to make the
Yeah.
go ahead and do the transition?
Ironically, what happened is that I got everything that people told me I should have to be happy,
Uh-huh.
and I was unhappy still.
Okay.
So it's 2018. I had the husband. He wasn't shit, but he was still a husband. I had a job I loved. I had a career that I was like, you listen. Did I lie? I had I was making six figures. Like all the things that when I was younger and I was unhappy, people were like, oh, well, you're not happy because this. I had a beautiful circle of friends and I was still unhappy and close to feeling broken. And I was suicidal. I had started giving all my stuff away. And I was talking to my therapist just about my struggles because I also didn't feel like I could tell people because to the outside, 2017, I'm winning Changemaker. 2018,
Uh-huh.
like some of these moments you're talking about, these were in those years when the
Right.
world is like, oh, you good. Like, why
You
would,
doing
and
it.
so, right? So when you are a person that the world sees as doing well, if you come to people and say, listen, I'm struggling, people are going to tell you, oh, it's not so bad. Look at all you have based
Right.
on material, right? But for me, when I was by myself, I did not understand why I was still like I was not excited to still be here on this
Mm.
earth. And I talked to my therapist, and we were talking about power. And she said, tell me a time you felt really powerful." And I told her like during my incarceration, I didn't have a lot of choice, but I never felt weak. And I believe a big component of that was my presentation, right? Back then, there was not language like you're transgender, all these other pieces, but presenting in a feminine way was really a safe haven for me and
Mm-hmm.
something that was a part of my entire incarceration. And then when I came home, and Miss Chantel, Big Sean, TT, like, oh, leave that punk stuff on the inside, right? So that's my mindset
Uh-huh.
that this was what was supposed to get me through prison.
Right.
Not it was a part of what happened. Not that it was a part of like a piece of me. And
Right.
and my therapist was like, well, what about it, man? And I was talking about the femininity, like the softness that I was able to sit in felt powerful.
Mm-hmm.
And so y'all, the world didn't know this, but I'm traveling the world. You and Shiffy see me in the airport, baby. I could be going to Chicago for a day. I'm gonna have two pieces of luggage. I would have my boy clothes. I would have my girl clothes. Because at first I thought it was just like the clothes were making me feel safe, but it was very private. Because I'm like, I've come out of prison. I finally have a good life. I don't want to lose it all because I'm gonna transition because I had not met a trans person, a black trans woman who, again, this is for Caitlyn Jenner. This is
Mm-hmm.
this is not. It was still scandalous for you to be a gay person being an R&B singer,
Right.
right? So there was no representation. I was like, I definitely didn't want to lose what I had to get this piece. But when my life was in the balance, I said, I don't have a choice because I'm not going to be here anyway. And so I worked through my therapist and I told my circle. And March 23rd of 2020, I went to the clinic and I got my hormones. And it was, again, the glitz and glamour, the hair, y'all see that? All that is cute. I still feel like this girl when I'm laying in bed with my CPAP machine on. I still feel like this girl when I wake up and I got sleep in my eyes and no, didn't nobody tell me how your titties will start sagging real bad. You know what I'm saying? I still feel like that girl. And so it's not about the perfection or I hear people say the performance of womanhood. It's something internally that feels like an anchor to me now.
Mm-hmm.
And it was life saving for me. If I was thinking about the easiest way to navigate this world, being a part of the queer community, being trans, would not be the road to take. Would
Right.
not be the road to take. And so for me, this was about me wanting to still be here. And I'm really grateful that the people who were around me saw fit that I did not, for the first time in my life, I didn't have to trade something great for something great I had for something greater. I got to
Mm.
keep both. I got to keep my career. I got to keep my name.
Awesome.
I just want to keep my name. Right. I got to keep my name. I got to
Tina
keep
Turner.
right. I got to keep working with young people. Me working at Blackburn, being with those young black folks every day. I was still at Charles Drew. I got to be with my people. I was just home for Raquel and Tommy's graduation, and I walked into Elks and I walked into what's that other place? The Spot? Is that what it's called? The
Johnny
Get
Day.
Down. I
Oh, to
walked in
get
the Get Down, and to be just with black folks, they didn't give a fuck about who Dominique. I mean, some people knew who I was, but I was just with my people
right.
in a body that made me want to get up in the morning.
Okay.
That's what life, that's what life is. Life is about the people that you get to experience life with, and being excited to experience life. And for
Right.
me, my experience, my story of being a trans person, being a black trans woman, was my transition kept me alive. Yeah, 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 for
Love
sure.
that.
And it definitely wasn't about these men. Let me say that because I know we ain't got much time left, but I want that on the record.
You said it
It was,
definitely was not.
it wasn't because I mean, I ain't never been ugly. Like, let's be clear.
Come
But
on.
also, but also, but also, it was not about. It was so much about inside of me. It was
Mm-hmm.
so much about my soul and my joy that was there. And when I hear black women, period, talk about their black womanhood, 95% of it is not about making a man happy or attracting a man. It's about the feeling. I feel the most powerful in my black womanhood when a man ain't even around, when I'm around other black women. If we're
Come
gonna
on.
keep it a buck, if we're gonna keep it a buck. So I think that's the other piece is that people feel like black trans women, especially because the world chooses to sexualize us, that
Mm-hmm.
they think that our goal is to be some vixen or our goal is to, be some siren. And it's like, no, these Negroes is just these niggas, they just trifling. Baby,
Mm-hmm.
they literally will like they sell tools that are literally just a piece of plastic that gets hot, and these men will spend $200 and have sex with them. A man wanting you is not. It's, talked about a lot of awards I've achieved tonight, and a Negro wanted me. It's not one.
What's that? That
So,
wasn't one of them.
no shade. So I just want to say that it was just to be serious. It was very much because another reason I said yes to doing this is that I know that you have people who watch your show who are not the person that's watching, the training on LGBTQ plus issues, who's not the person that even they may like Dominique, but they may not feel like they talk or want to engage in conversation around transness. So I just want to say to those folks who I know are people who are in our community who love on me, and I want y'all to love on other people the way y'all love on me. I want y'all to be as open minded as you are with me, with these young people who are around you. These babies don't have the power to say, I'm just gonna go in my house and shut the door. These babies are learning and growing and they're trying to figure it out. And you would hate for your child to be the next Dominique Morgan. And when she blow up and you need somebody to help you with your rent, she hang up on you. Love your child today. Love your child today, no matter the trajectory. Because shout out to Troy and Colleen Starks. Shout out to my parents because they loved me in times that it was not the easiest to love me. And literally, I am the manifestation of that when they've been gone from this earth for decades. And so yeah, like the trans experience is about safety and care for me and loving myself. And I want people to ask more questions than they make assumptions.
Right.
Social media is not telling you the true story about black trans women are not trying to compete against biological women. That's not. White women are trying to take y'all out before we trying to take y'all out. No shade. But y'all will let those girls in y'all sororities. Yeah, yeah. Y'all will have those girls. Y'all won't just invite those girls to the cookout. You'll throw a cookout for them.
Come on.
I shared
Talk
that
your shit.
I shared that Tokyo Tony video early. Looking, I don't mess with Tokyo Tony like that. But Tokyo said, "Listen, the only person who's ever been able to steal a man is a white woman. And even she gave them back." And so, right in slavery, honey, these white ladies were stealing the right. That's the only person that can steal a man. And I say that to say, because when I talk about whiteness, people think you hate white people. No, I'm talking about the system of whiteness.
Right.
That folks can choose to choose the level that they engage in. But in regards to that, Black trans women know that our moms and our aunties and our cousins are the template. We're not denying that. I know biologically how I was born. You don't. You're not getting a gotcha. Oh, you was born a boy. Okay, girl. Like did you? Like all these things where you feel like people are trying to. My transition was very public, Miss Chantella. So it's like so it's like this idea of deceit and lies and trickery. No, we just want to exist. And I want to say that it's a blessing to exist as a trans person, but as a Black trans person, it's a blessing to exist in Black community. So the more that we get embraced, the more that we get to add to community, the more that we get to support each other and talk to each other, right? Because these are difficult conversations. Ain't nothing simple and easy. But I just don't know how I can watch Black people partner with white people every day, but see me as their enemy. That just gags me. No shade.
No shade, just the truth. First of all, I gotta say this, baby. I know you've been doing this for a minute because the lighting, baby, is giving me everything. People don't know how important. Like right now, I got so many lights on. People just think, yeah, if you don't have these lights right, you're gonna look dark, you're gonna look shadow, you're gonna look shady, honey. Your lighting is amazing. And
Thank you.
before we go to talk your shit, I do want you to tell us about some upcoming events you got, projects or anything like that. Branding, baby. Brand yourself and let us know what's going on. And then you will be involved in Talk Your Shit, Dominique.
All right. You can follow me on all social media platforms at the Dominique Morgan. My website is dominiquemorgan.com. Right now, my day job, I work in philanthropy. I'm the director of the Fund for Transgenerations at Borealis Philanthropy. So please look out on socials. I'm gonna do a more engagement around educating people around writing grants and nonprofit work because I know as Black folks that's gate kept from us. So TikTok and all of that. We have the BET Black and Iconic Soiree that's coming up in on the 13th. So y'all look out for that. And I'm really excited to be invited back for the second year with BET for that. And yeah, we got a big year ahead with some major events and moments. And I love when Omaha taps in with me. That means a lot because without Omaha, I there is no Dominique Morgan. So I live in Atlanta. The girls can say whatever, but I am a Omaha girl. If the wind shift too wrong, honey, if y'all think that wouldn't sit back through, if we another penny, I don't listen. My heart is in Omaha. My people are in Omaha, and most importantly, my street is in Omaha. So yeah, look out for the things, and I'm excited for 2024. And the book, the workbook is coming. Discovering Your Power. So we have
I was about to
the beta.
say, you got to say
Yeah,
something about what.
we have the beta version out now that people are testing, and the official book will come out in the summer, and a new album is coming, because I was like, we got to get back in the stew and make that happen. Me and Shippy did a new song together.
Yes, we
Me and
y'all heard
Shippy,
it here first. Y'all heard it here
me
first.
listen, it very much is given. Me and Shippy need to get in the studio in Atlanta. We need a nasty music video shot in Atlanta. We need to make that happen. But yeah, art and all the things. But most importantly, I'm y'all people. So
And
just tap in.
we definitely felt that. Just the comments in here where people are saying they learned so much just sitting in here on this interview. They're thanking you, Jean said, Miss Dominique, continue to repeat, represent, continue to educate. Definitely educate. You dropped so many nuggets here, so I'm so happy about that. But y'all know it's shout out time. Tamara Rich is in here, Jean Pendergrass, Serena Russell, Jelana Davis, Arlette Brooks, Yvette Turner, Linda Blackman, Kim Hollingsworth, Deborah Jones, Marcy DeBerry. It's a lot of people. If I miss y'all, y'all already know because Dom has been generous to grace us with her presence for over an hour now. So
Oh, and
this
if you're in Houston, go to my page because we are doing a screening of The Color Purple tomorrow night. If you're in
oh,
Houston, and it's for free. So if you go to the link, you can get in, and we're giving like popcorn and drink with your ticket, but your ticket is free. So if you are in Houston, Texas, come out, and I'm hosting a screening of The Color Purple tomorrow night.
What time is the showing, Dom?
I think it's going to start at 5 p.m. tomorrow night.
5 p.m. Okay. Because I got a couple of people. We got a couple of people in Texas on here. But so this is the time. Stay wokers. Go ahead and put it in the chat. Y'all already know what time it is. It is the time, the hour, the minute. Where Dominique, you have to tell us this is the talk your shit segment. You have to tell us what you are sick and tired of. What are you sick and tired of? We give you 2 minutes to rant and rave and say whatever the hell you want to about what you sick and tired of.
I am sick and tired of. I'm sick and tired of people on social media who really don't know anything, talking a lot. I am sick and tired of these gender wars. Black women hate black men. I'm sick and tired of that. I'm sick and tired of y'all acting like y'all don't like fat girls and all y'all baby mamas is fat. I'm sick and tired of. I'm sick and tired of y'all getting that acrylic on that big toe and not paying attention to the black toenail under there. Like, give it some love and care, and it might come back to life. I'm sick and tired of y'all not washing y'all wigs. You can't do a lace front and wear all that glue and not wash it and take care of it. I'm sick and tired of y'all only eating chicken ramen noodles. Get you some beef. Try some shrimp. Expand your horizons. Look into the diaspora of ramen noodle. Amen. And most of all, I'm sick and tired of men in my inbox saying things they would never say to me on the street. And because God has worked on me, I would never say anything, but be respectful. Because the things that men say to me, and it's not negative. It's a man the other day was like, "I'll be a dog for you," and I was like, "A dog?" I was like a puppy. And so I'm sick and tired of the DMs. the DMs that the DMs that don't have any conversation, DMs with ashy penis pics, DMs with no cash deposit. I'm sick and tired of DMs that don't have any purpose. Yeah, amen.
Oh my goodness, that was the definite most and funniest sick and tired of that we have had. Dom, you had baby, you were ready for it. You was ready for it. We got Tamara Rich in here said, "I'm sick and tired of our people not greeting and receiving each other in public space." Kim
Yes.
Hollingsworth said, "I'm sick and tired of seeing Donald Trump's mug on TV. I am." That was one of mine. I'm sick and tired of people acting like they don't know better. I'm sick and
Come
tired of
on.
people acting like they don't know better when they know better. When
Amen.
they know better. I'm so sick and tired of people following Trump, acting like, I'm gonna tear next week, Dom. I'm tearing up the co-founder of Black Lives Matter. Is his last name Fields? You know, he came out and supported Trump and said he thinks Trump would do more for our people. Oh, he's the one that co-founders of Black Lives Matter, baby. I was like, oh, I can't wait to tear his
Oh
ass up.
Lord have
He
mercy.
said, yeah, I just think that we've been brainwashed by the Democrats. I'm sick and tired of people not doing their research, watching TikTok, like you said, not doing their research to see what the administration has done versus just listening to TikTok videos and people educating you in a 1 minute video. Do your damn research. Find out what's
Mm-hmm.
really going on.
Mm-hmm.
Fine. And my bow down moment, Dom, I do a bow down every now and then. Before I do my bow down, I do want to give Bradshaw, look, Bradshaw Construction a shout out. He's back. He's back with the vengeance. Bradshaw Construction. I also have on one of his outfits, foreign. I have on foreign, so I try to wear local
Yes.
design. They send me stuff, Dom. I don't get an Apple check, but I might get a free outfit.
Listen, a check is a check. Amen. Amen.
I might get a free outfit. But one of the other things, I'm sick and tired of being sick. Damn. I'm like, okay, my immune system, what can we do to boost this immune system up? I need y'all to help me. I was like, I am not missing this interview. I was like, I don't care if y'all see me with the tissue, I'm sneezing, I'm coughing. I said, oh no, I've been waiting to get Dom on here for the grip, and it is finally happened. I am so glad. You were an amazing interview. The people is loving you. The people is loving you. Before we leave, do you have anything to say? I know you shouted out your platforms, your social media platforms. And make sure y'all follow Dominique. Dominique.com is a website. You can find everything out about Dominique on that website, upcoming events and things like that.
Mm-hmm. No, I just want to thank you. Listen, I think it's also important to say that anything coming out of Omaha that's new, it's a fight because we love things that are the same. So
Right.
what I love about you and Shiffy is that y'all are going to dream it, y'all gonna push it forward, and so I was really glad that I was able to come on because um, this is the type of stuff that some artists are gonna get their first moment to be heard because of this platform, or some influential thought leader is gonna get that first moment because y'all have created this. So just thank y'all for doing this. Thank you for inviting me and for forgiving me for the amount of time it took us to make this happen. It's been a lot of shenanigans, but I was like, we gonna make this
It was
happen no
worth
matter
it.
what.
It
And
was
I'm
worth it, baby.
appreciative, and I love y'all down. We go way back, and yeah, I would love to come back anytime. I love everything that y'all are doing.
Okay, well, thank you so much. I'll let you know when I'm. We will be down in Atlanta this spring, so I'll let you know when we head down
Okay,
there. Maybe we
perfect.
can make something happen. But y'all need to give. I need hearts coming from everybody on here. I need y'all to start sharing this now. Give Dominique, Queen Dominique Morgan, give her flowers right now because she just dropped nuggets and gave it to us, baby. The shade room ain't got nothing on Dom, so she says she don't go looking for you, but she
I
will call
know.
you back. I don't call
Amen.
people, but I will do it. What?
But I'll call them
What
back.
was
Yes,
that?
ma'am.
All right.
And
Well,
leave a
thank you
message.
so much. Thank you so
All
much,
right.
Dominique Morgan. This is Queen Dominique Morgan, live from Houston, Texas, hosting a live event at the doing the Color Purple, a showing of the Color Purple tomorrow in Houston, Texas. Go to the website dominiquemorgan.com to get the information about it. If you're in Houston, it's free. Get your butt out there and join them. Dom, we love you.
Thank you. Love you. Feel
Thank you so
better.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, everybody, thank you for joining us and Dominique Morgan. She was a great interview. I see y'all saying, oh my goodness, it was so much. But thank you guys so much. I appreciate you, Stay Wokers, joining us. Keep those questions coming in. I need y'all. I appreciate y'all. Make sure you share this. All right. Before you go to sleep, you got to do what? Block, block, block. Stay woke. We out of here.